Boom, and welcome to another episode of Nobody Watching. The world is filled with so much snark and vitriol these days that it's virtually impossible to avoid. Yes, a lot of it takes place in social media, and yes, a lot of it is inspired by the current polarized political climate. But it's hard to stay out of it no matter where you are or what you do. We seem to have evolved into a race that is as good as offending as we are at being offended. Now, I don't see snark and vitriol as the same thing, although because people are sensitive, they're often taken in the same way, with high levels of offense. Vitriol is an angry, mean-spirited verbal poke in the eye with a sharp piece of mental glass delivered with the intent to harm, while snark, as I see it, can be more of a tool used to break up the negative energy of a tense moment or provide an apt description of something that helps you clearly communicate what you've seen to others in a way they can quickly relate to and may generate inappropriate laughter. Like some folksy color commentary during a sporting event or a good-natured nudge to the ribs. Probably. Maybe. A good, solid nudge, but a nudge nonetheless. These days, it's difficult to impart position without incurring true wrath. People are sensitive, and rather than embracing the concept of perspective and possibility, we seem to wallow in defense, just waiting to be offended so that we can rain down the ire of the ages upon some poor, unsuspecting soul who just wanted to make a point or express an idea. We are indeed delicate, thin-skinned, and contrary souls. In a weird way, I think we kind of enjoy being offended. It helps in the game of one-upmanship we play when comparing how terrible our days are. Does anyone have good days anymore? Is it too much of a guilty pleasure to say so, especially if someone else is having a bad day? It's become more important to commiserate on the blues than celebrate our own momentary and quite fleeting good fortune. As an example, how often do you have a "you think that's bad, wait until you hear my day" conversation? The ones where you can't wait to tell someone how much worse your day was than theirs. And if you come up short on the bad day bonanza, how often do you find yourself looking for things that will make your day sound worse than it was? We're good at those conversations. It's oddly comforting to find that we aren't the only ones having a rough go of things, and we feel good about helping someone else see that they are not alone in being miserable. All that misery somehow makes everyone happy. But change the dynamic and respond to someone's bad day with the stories of how your day was amazing, and you can come off like you're some kind of a It's possible we use snarky comments to test the waters of response to see how bad we should make our day in order for someone else to feel better. Or, if they are feeling too good, what the appropriately measured attack would be to help level set them and bring them back to reality. Aside from the intimate and interpersonal snark, there is the larger scale snark we get dragged into when we encounter those who seem to require some feedback immediately, to again test the waters to see if there's any commonality in thought or if there's any chance that the exchange will escalate into some kind of violence. And when I say get dragged into, I mean some of us go quite willingly. While skipping, in fact, with huge smiles on our faces and buckets of quality snark at the ready. We can't wait to enter the fray. It seems to be how my brain works. First the snark, then the well-intentioned commentary. But unless I can stop it, and it can be a struggle, the snark leads. It's not intended to offend as much as it is a celebration and release of the happy combination of words that evolve from the ether and present themselves in my head. Why should they be stuck rattling around in my brain when they can flourish out in the open air for all to see, hear, and enjoy? This certainly has its downsides, primarily because people do get offended, so there is a lot of apologizing that takes place. It's a reflex, like sneezing or reaching to catch something that falls off the counter, even if it is a big, heavy, sharp knife that could cut your fingers off. But I think it's important to share that this is part of who I am, and people should know that I'm always working on being better. I should probably just hand out cards that say, "This snark was developed especially for you in this particular moment. It's not vitriol, and it's not my intention to offend. If you find offense in anything I say and are unable to appreciate the creativity and originality, know that I apologize, and I encourage you to give me a bit of that sad, slow, head-shaking look of disappointment I used to get from Mrs. Schwartz in the 5th grade. She had a way." But know, too, that this is a lifelong affliction that those with snarkotycosis have to deal with every day, in every situation without exception. There's no telethon, no GoFundMe or anything. It's how we manage things, and we're just trying to get through it like everyone else. But imagine walking around with this skill, which is like having a fully loaded snark gun in your brain that's ready to go off at exactly the moment when nobody needs it. It's a gift. It's not a great gift. If I had my druthers, I would have chosen invisibility or the ability to fly. but we play the hand we're dealt. Look, 9 out of 10 times, maybe 50%, maybe about a quarter of the time. Okay, there are a few times when we mean well, so be patient with us. Enjoy the exchange, embrace the positives, and have a better day. And we'll see you next time.